I'm going to go over the EL1 post-test written portion. On Wednesday, you will have an opportunity to retake either the written test, the Canvas multiple choice test, or neither. You can only retake one. If you are unsure what your grade is on this test, take the number that you got correct. So let's say you got 8.5 out of 13. I always put this at the top of your test. You just have to divide 8.5 divided by 13, and you will see what your score was, and you can decide if you are content with that or if you think you want to redo it. Okay, so if you had 8.5, that's a 65%. You probably want to try again. I think that Eli was just getting ready to ask, if you retake the test and do worse, is that score going to count? If you retake the test, it cannot hurt you. Okay, you will only get an improved score. Also, the test is not exactly the same. It is similar, but not totally the same. Okay, are there any questions just about that general part? Yes, ma'am.
What do you mean, like, not exactly the same?
Well, the questions are similar in nature, like you'll have to make inferences about the relationships or changes that are happening based on what we've learned. Primarily it is rock cycle, but it'll be a different system. Okay? The reason that I really want to go over this part with you is because I think a lot of us missed points because we didn't exactly understand what the questions were asking us to do. Also, I don't think that the pictures and videos made it 100% clear that the lava from that volcano sometimes makes it all the way to the beach. Okay, and I think that if that had been more clear from the images, that some of us would have done better. Okay, so let's talk about what we could have had here in these boxes. You do not have to write incomplete sentences when you are putting information in a table like this. So from the lava to the volcano, how are they related? How are they interacting? I had stated in class, but it probably should have been in the rock cycle, in the directions. Your relationships and changes and inferences have to show what you know about the rock cycle. That will be true also on the retake on Wednesday. It has to show what you know and understand about the rock cycle to be correct. Okay, so first of all, the lava from the volcano cools and hardens to become the basalt rock. So if you missed that one, you should write this down neatly on a piece of paper. If you got it right, but you have something a lot different than that, you probably should write this down anyway. When I graded these, I did my best to find any points that I could give you, even if it was like a half point, to help you because I thought that we were a little confused on the directions. I will not grade Wednesdays quite as easily. Okay, the basalt rock. Okay, I'm going to relate it to the black sand. The basalt rock weathers and erodes to become the black sand. There were a few other answers that I accepted. Like I would have accepted the basalt rock melts to become lava or magma inside the earth, which then, you know, is the lava. Okay, down here I liked to relate the ocean waves to the sand. The ocean waves break down the rock to make sand, or you could have put weather and erode the rock. Okay, and then here the black sand You could say is sediment or is weathered and eroded from the basalt rock. Okay. Are there any questions about these four and what you should have had, what you would put if you have a test on Wednesday? Yes, Ben.
Couldn't the sand compact in cement to become basalt again?
Sand can't compact in cement to become basalt because basalt's an igneous rock. So it can't cool and harden to become basalt and then also compact in cement to become basalt. If you put that, I did give you a half of a point, I think, because I tried to be forgiving because I didn't think it was clear that the lava came all the way to the water. So I could see where that was a logical conclusion, but it wasn't correct. Thank you for asking that. I'm sure other people watching this will have that same question. Okay, turn it over, please. Okay, so here we were looking for how is matter cycled through the rock cycle? And maybe at a time, maybe I didn't make it quite clear enough that the rock cycle really is about rocks changing form from one form to another. So they start out as magma, they become rock, they become sediments, they can become sedimentary rock, they can melt, they can become magma, but it's always changing form, okay? And in that process, minerals are moving, right? Because there's minerals that make up the lava, that become the rock, that become the sand, etc. Okay? So, how does it go from the volcano to the basalt cliff? I don't want to call out names because I'm on a video, but you shouldn't be reading a book. You should be copying down what I have. If your neighbor is reading a book, you might tap them on the shoulder and let them know that I am talking to them, and they should be following along with me, please. Okay, so this said to use complete sentences. So you should have just said that the lava cools and hardens to become basalt cliffs. The basalt cliffs really are just very big rocks. Okay, and then from the basalt cliff to the black sand beach. The basalt cliff weathers and erodes to become the black sand beach. I did not count off for complete sentences. I felt like there was a lot of stress around this test, so I gave you a little bit of grace there. Okay, so then, how would decreasing the wave action affect the cycling of matter in the system? And then it said justify. Okay, that means to support your answer with evidence, something that we know. So if we decrease the wave action, what will happen? There will be less what? Guys, most of you got it right. Somebody raise your hand. There'll be less what? If we decrease waves? Sand. Why?
Because water erosion.
That is your justify. Okay, so decreasing wave action would mean there is less weathering and erosion. This results in less sand. Okay, so if you didn't put your reasoning here, then you missed a point. Okay, now give 2 ways that increasing volcanic activity would affect the cycling of matter. And again, you have to justify for each. Okay, so if we increase volcanic activity, what's going to happen? Yes, Brody.
More basalt cliffs.
Why?
Because more lava will collect on.
Very good. Increasing volcanic activity would create more, you could say rocks or cliffs, more basalt rocks. There would be more lava to cool and harden. Okay, then eventually if we have more basalt rocks and cliffs, what are we gonna have more of, Ben?
We're gonna have more black sand.
More black sand. With more basalt rocks, there would be more weathering and erosion to create more black sand. Are there any questions about this side? Okay, now if you want to retake the quiz on Friday, you have to have your test and your corrections. Do you care if I put this on the screen? Okay, so if this person would like to retake the test on Friday, they will need to have this test and these corrections stapled together and turned in, not on Friday, on Wednesday, to my tray when they're ready to take the test. Okay? So where should you keep it right now so that you don't lose it? In your binder. Don't just shove it anywhere. Keep it in your binder or folder, and then if you want to retake the test, you will have it. You will not be allowed to retake the test if you do not turn that in. Yes?
Oh, so do you do anything to retake the multiple choice test?
We'll talk about that tomorrow. So tomorrow will be a review day, and we will talk about any criteria needed to retake. But you have to have this if you want to retake the written. Okay, thank you.